Welcome to the show, everybody. I was not told that Ryan was recording that yesterday upstairs.
You pointed at the camera.
I did point at the camera? Okay, well, now I get to look down here because it's on delay, and I'm seeing it again. Although the David Lee Roth split jump is not been freeze-framed it. Oh, God. Okay, well, you know when you have a few beers and you're having a good old time, that's the tournament at South Point.
At that point, you were not up to a few. You had less than a few.
I Ubered home. I Ubered back today, so I was responsible.
Ready for today's games?
I think I'm going to drink a lot of Pepsi today. I got a lot of Pepsi. I got a nice tea here. I don't know if I'll be drinking today because I want to drive home for the weekend and have my car. It was a lot of fun. I got to say, we're doing it again, by the way. Welcome to Punchlines. I'm Frank Nicotero, longtime comedian, lifelong sports fan, and we're doing it all again upstairs. It's already packed up there. Jeff Parles is up there after they did the show at 8:30. He and Alex. Was anyone on with them, or was it just him and Alex?
Well, no, yeah, it was just
the two of them.
show, yeah,
getting you all ready for the games. We have a couple finals. Northwestern won in overtime. That was big. That Florida Atlantic was like a sexy pick. I think we all had it. Anyway, so it's a blast up there, guys. I mean, beers are like $4. You can bucket beer for $20. You can get a free bucket of beer if you hit 4 out of 5 free throws from 11 to 1 and 3 to 5 or 5 to 7.
I think 5 to 7.
5 to 7. So come back out. You can shoot free throws. You can win if you get all 5 free throws. You win a $50 Red Bull gift card and. Right. When I mentioned that yesterday, I was like, I like Red Bull. So I'm going to try to win it for you, Ann. If I do, although if I'm 4 for 4, I'm probably going to brick it to get that bucket of beer. But it's a lot of fun up there. The food's great. I had pizza for the first time this calendar year. I was like, screw it. Let's have a piece of pizza. It was delicious. Jeff had the chicken tendies. And
also had some nachos.
Yeah. We had nachos. Yeah. Oh, we did. Oh, I had nachos, huh? Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
thinking, though, that you get the bucket of beer and the $50 gift card.
That's what I would think, right?
One of the
like
three-man weavers hit 5.
Did he really?
And he had a bucket of beer. So.
Oh, those guys don't play around, man. Those guys are good.
Yeah, he had nothing but net. Nothing hit rim.
Oh, yeah, Jeff told us that. Yeah, that's impressive. So they actually know their stuff. Not only do they know basketball, they can play basketball.
Yep.
Let's take. I want to point out the brackets. I don't know our ESPN competition that some of our viewers are in. Joey B, good afternoon, buddy. Good to see you there. The bracket, I don't know. We have like 21 people in it.
21 people, yeah. 3 people are currently.
And we don't know who the leaders are.
Right.
Because it's like ESPN fan 78944.
Yeah, and then some other clever names.
Yeah, and a couple other names. So we don't know. Chris Andrews did send me this, though. All right, so we have this sheet right here, the South Point. What do we call this? The South Point studio host basketball winter tournament. We drafted these teams this past Monday. So here are the money totals. Alex, $120 wagered on Alex. Ann, $5 wagered on Ann. That would be $5. You got to bet on yourself in life, folks. You got to do it. Let's see here.
I mean, that pays, what, $110?
Drew Dog, 65. Drew Dog, $65.
Sweet.
It's an attractive pool he's got. Jeff, $25.
Yikes.
Matt, $150.
Okay.
Ryan, $60.
Damn.
Sean, $25. Damn. Frank Nicotero, $220. I'm going to leave that right there. I'm going to take a sip of my tea. I think I'm 2 to 1. I mean, I don't know. I have 20 of that's mine. So there's 200 other random dollars.
I mean, you would think that if people are going to spend money on your bracket, they would just put money on the individual teams to win the tournament.
Well, what would the odds be on UConn? What were
they're 5 to 1.
Right, so you get
6
better.
to 1. Yeah.
Well, people are doing it. Wait, can we see that one more time, man? Sorry. Please. Thank you. Okay, so who did I okay, Ryan's got Drake out. Yeah, a lot of Sean. 4 teams. But don't worry, you have Illinois.
There you go.
Ryan's got a full card except for Drake. That's a pretty Grambling's probably going to go out today, right?
No,
they're
beating Purdue.
They're going to beat Purdue lost last year to a 16 seed, right? You feel good about Grambling?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Alex still has a perfect score.
Well,
I wouldn't even put Jeff up there. Who cares?
She lost Colgate this morning.
Oh, yeah. Colgate just lost.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So, anyway, that's fun. We did some. So, anyway, I was talking about the free throws that you can win buckets of beer. Now, this I remember you taking footage of. So, we have footage of our free throws?
Yeah, we have your free throws.
All right, who do we have here? Okay,
this is your first 15 bet.
Oh, this is me rooting for Colorado State to the first 15. Folks, I get into it, you know? There's like 2,500 people up there. We're having a blast. I didn't know Ryan recorded this either. And then that's me losing.
Yeah,
and the chair fell by
you knock over a
accident. I
chair.
picked
Well,
it up.
You hadn't even lost at that point yet.
Well, I think someone had just hit a big three for the other team.
Yeah. I think we're at like 14 points at that point.
Look at the anxiety in me, folks. Over, what did I have on that? I think I had like, maybe, I don't know, a small amount. There's the ticket.
Yeah, you had 30.
Done.
Points. Yeah, you just
Hook shot.
crumpled and trash.
Nice hook shot. Did it go into a bucket? That would have been impressive.
No.
By the way, I didn't even mention who's on the show today. Hall of Fame pitcher John Smoltz is going to be here
Yes.
with Denny Neagle via the video, and Vinny Magliulo is going to stop in towards the end of the show and talk tournament with us and give us the vibe around the hotel. You got to get down here. Cheapest prices, best lines. There's ticket machines up there. There's an ATM up there if you need money, which I did yesterday, although I'm cashing a ticket later today with North Carolina State, so... John Smoltz will be on the show, man. We're very excited about John. He's really taking the time to make sure he could do this for us. And Denny's going to try it. And what is a punchlines first? We're going to try to have two people on the video at the same time. We did test it, right, Ann? We tested it. We think it's going to work.
We hope it's going to work, yeah.
98% certain. And that was like the percentage John Smoltz got on his first ballot Hall of Fame. Okay, so this is the free throw contest. Remember, if you hit 5, you get a $50 Red Bull and a bucket of beer. If you get 4, you get a bucket of beer. None of us, I don't think any of us, we didn't do so hot. I took the jacket off for this, ladies and gentlemen. I look pretty good with the rock, right? Dribbling. Here we go. And air ball. Air ball. The girl had to go. Girls, but then I think I got 1. No? I didn't get 1?
No.
I thought I got 1.
No.
Oh, damn. No, you only get 2. This one I'm not supposed to take. That wasn't sanctioned. And they probably hated me.
Alex got 1.
Do we have that?
No.
How'd you do?
The same as you.
Yeah.
Except I hit rim on both my
If
shots.
you miss your first 2, I think it's smart. They're just like, you're out.
Yeah.
Because what's the point? You can't win the bucket of beer. And for time's sake, there's a line. They had it at 2 ends. It's really well run. Everyone's doing it. And some of these guys, there's some guys with touch. Like you said, one of the guys from 3-Man Weave, man, just swished.
Yep.
Swish, swish, swish. Unbelievable. All right, today is March 22nd, day 2 of March Mayhem here at the South Point. You must come down. It is unbelievable. It's free admission. Did we mention it's free? Free admission, free parking, free valet. Free. Get up there. The food is like almost free. The prices are so cheap.
Yeah, it was, we got 2 slices of pizza for $6.
$6, yeah. They're like $3 each. And everyone's tweeting about it. Chris has a tweet. What he tweeted about is like 28,000 or 100,000 hits. So a lot of people are responding. You can get Tito's up there really cheap. It's a good time. March 22nd, 2024. It's National West Virginia Day. Now, congratulations to West Virginia. I think John Smoltz is actually in West Virginia. When I spoke to him last week, I think he's there. Maybe some golf tournament. And he's at the Greenbrier. Do you know about the Greenbrier?
No.
The Greenbrier is where the president and all of Congress and the Senate were going to go during World War II, Cold War, whatever. So there's like this missile. There's like a whole base under there. There's weapons. There's food rations. It's really wild. And people didn't know about it until not so long ago, but it's really cool. Frank, did you submit my bracket? What do you mean, Frank? That's Frank Murgy.
Yeah, I'm glad you made that clear.
Sorry, CMU,
Like
CSU lost. I didn't show. What's that?
So I'm glad you made that clear. It kind of sounded like you were talking to yourself.
Yeah, I was talking to myself there. Frank Murgy's. Yeah, exactly. So it's West Virginia Day, and also this is a great day. It's National West Virginia Day, which is close to my hometown. I've spent a lot of time in West Virginia. My sister was born in West Virginia. I was conceived in West Virginia. And it's also National Goof Off Day. This is a thing. But I think if they're smart, they scheduled this to be at the tournament, right? Because everyone's goofing off. It says do something relaxing. Here's how it says to observe National Goof Off Day. Catch up on some sleep or read a good book. Whoa, that is some major goofing right there.
Yeah.
You might also watch a good movie or play a board game. Okay. Maybe even get caught goofing off with some of your friends. That's good. Strictly speaking, goofing off is the avoidance of work. So whatever you do, try not to look like you are working. National Goof Off Day. There you go.
Sweet.
That's what we're going to do after this.
Yeah.
We're goofing off now. We're actually getting paid to goof off.
Yeah. It would be, if we had Alex and Jeff here, it would be a good goof session.
This is episode 116, ladies and gentlemen. By the end of the weekend, we will have 16 teams. Pretty ironic right there, right? We'll be down to the Sweet 16. And, how's you feeling good about that? 16, your 16 bracket?
For the most part. Marquette's giving me a little scare right now, but
And are you gambling on games? Have you been hitting anything?
Yes, a bit. Drake was a sad loss yesterday.
Yeah, the first 15, I'm going to still do it. All right, why don't we should let's sound the horn, do a couple. Sound the horn! It's post time, baby. Obviously, all these posts today are going to have to do with the tournament. There's the graphic look. Hey, I'm Smiley and boosh. All right, post with punchlines. What do you want to do first? March Madness song?
Sure.
Okay, so these two guys wrote a March Madness song, which is a lot of fun. So, and then, so just roll it. We'll just watch this.
It's not gonna win no matter what. It's Kathy from HR, yeah, she always gets the dub.
Kathy from
You haven't watched
HR.
the game all year, so watch it while your bracket busts. Now you don't care.
And look,
Yeah.
he got it.
Hands go up, down,
Up
down.
and go up, and they stay there. By the way, you of course, everyone's question, I didn't read the comments, is how many takes? How many takes did it do that?
Yeah.
The fact he was so excited makes me think at least 8 to 10. Like, he's finally like, thank God, my arm's getting tired.
I might take the over on that.
Yeah, you might take the over on that. All right, a lot of cool things. This guy right here. So you can. One of the things you can do in Vegas, of course, is predict the exact score.
Yeah. Yeah. Certain,
More online, right?
certain books allow it.
Certain books. I saw your face go like this. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
More or
I need
less.
you for clarification. You know your stuff. So someone bet that Creighton would beat Akron 77-60. That is the exact score that happened. So a $10 bet. They cashed the ticket for $2,900.
Yep.
How do you? That's just a. It's just a guess, right? I mean, there's.
Yeah.
Do you look at their season scoring maybe and see how much they scored, how much they get? I mean, that's
Yeah. Try and mix in the medians.
the medians, which Chris likes to talk about. Alex talk about all the time. You got to go with the medians.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a nice ticket. You $2,900 for a $10 bet.
Yeah.
And he just pumped it right back in on every other correct score and probably lost a couple $100. But hey, he's up. He's up.
Yep.
What else do we have here? What else was next? Is this the
Well, we
290?
had the UNR. So the UNR
Oh
game
my
yesterday, they were up 17 with just over 7
Now,
minutes to go.
we were upstairs watching this game. I had the over, which was clearly not going to hit. But look at the score here. They were up 56-39. And everyone upstairs, a lot of Nevada people were upstairs watching the game. Obviously, it's Nevada Reno. And the final score, Dayton came back and went on a run.
Yeah.
What is that, 24-4 to end the game?
Yep.
That is brutal. And, of course, there's a Nevada fan right there who probably had a few dollars on the game, I'm guessing.
Probably just a little bit. Yeah.
And he had all his gear on. He's like, yeah, this is the year.
There were actually a good amount of people upstairs rooting against Reno as well.
Now, that you brought up a good point there because it seems like there is a rivalry between Vegas and Reno.
As there should be, yeah.
Yeah, I know there were a lot of people. There were some people sitting next to us that had Dayton shirts on, so there were Dayton fans there. But it was weird. There was a lot of people, and that game came. It was like one of the second bracket games or second start time, whatever. So that game was like the focus for a lot of this.
Yeah. It was one of the last games for opening
Of
window.
the opening time. So everyone was watching that game. They had on all the screens up there.
Yeah.
The over did not hit. Of course, I was praying for overtime. I'm like, we need overtime, but it didn't hit.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a great game. All right, so what else do we have here?
So everybody was talking about the big upset that happened yesterday. The 14 seed taking down the 3 seed.
Unbelievable.
Oakland beating Kentucky.
Okay.
Well, Oakland's film room is just them on their own court with a whiteboard. That's their film room.
That's their film room. That also looks like the crowd as I was scrolling through today at the Villanova NIT game.
Yeah.
Did you see that? The NIT game in Villanova was $2 beer night. That still didn't help. No one, it's no interest there.
Well, yeah, Nova also went down to VCU.
Yes, exactly.
So, no local fans.
It's a sad night in Philadelphia for all the Villanova fans. But look at that. That's their film room. It's just a screen. Unbelievable. And by the way, congratulations to Oakland, who pulled the upset over John Calipari and Kentucky yesterday.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about it before we hit the air. That kid who had 10 3-pointers.
Yeah, Jack Kolke.
Jack Golke. This kid. And how many dribbles for all his shots?
Yeah, 10 made threes on 20 attempts, 3 total dribbles.
3 total dribbles. He was coming off screens, hitting it. He was way beyond the 3-point line. He was off balance. This kid had the game of his life.
The kid was playing D2 basketball for 4 years. He's a grad transfer.
Oh, is that
to
right?
Oakland, yeah.
I'll tell you what. He was exciting to watch, man. I just watched a compilation this morning of him hitting all the shots. It was crazy. Just none of them were like open shots. None of them were open looks.
Yep.
Coming off screens. Just coming over half court dribbling, firing it up there. So that'll be exciting to watch the Oakland game. Who does Oakland play next? After Kentucky they beat. So
Oakland goes into NC State.
Ooh. Okay, so one of those two teams is going to make the Sweet 16.
Yeah, double-digit seed in the Sweet 16.
All right, and we're going to talk about this with our guest, who I see our guest getting ready to prep, but we're going to go to a commercial right now. We're going to take a commercial break. We're going to come back. I see John Smoltz. I see Denny Neagle. We're going to work it out. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, Triple Sevens, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3 to 2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
All right, welcome back to Punchlines. This is very exciting. We have Mr. Denny. This has got to be Denny's, like, I think he's like 15 times now. We're going to say 15 for his jersey number right there, 15. And also joining us, first ballot Hall of Famer and Major League MLB's Fox's lead analyst on MLB, John Smoltz has made the show. Yay.
Yeah, John. And Denny.
And Denny. We love you, Denny. John, thank you for joining us. We have to say, Ryan, our producer, is a giant North Carolina fan. And Denny has told us, and I'm even wearing Michigan State green for you. So, and Denny's wearing Michigan State green as well. Did you watch the game yesterday? Were you able to watch it?
I did. Yeah, I watched it. And it was a good victory. But as you mentioned, now we have to play a perfect basketball game tomorrow night to knock off North Carolina.
Yeah, and the line is 4 points, I think, right?
It's 4 points.
4-point favorites, North Carolina. That's not a lot of points. I thought it was going to be a little bigger, so they're giving Tom Izzo some credit there. So you went to Michigan State. Do you get back often?
Going to go.
Well, I was signed, sealed, and delivered to go to Michigan State. Monday morning was my first class, and I signed Sunday night. With the Tigers. So technically never went to Michigan State, but had my dorm room picked out, orientation, obviously a scholarship to play baseball, but it just, at the buzzer, it went the other way and it turned out okay. It turned out all right.
It turned out very well. And Denny, thanks for setting this up. Denny, anything you want to say hi to John, or do you want to ask him anything right away?
Yeah, I want to know what happened last week, Smoltz. Did you hurt your arm, like showering or shampooing in the shower or something like that?
No, but I did mess up my left shoulder playing 126 holes of golf in 3.5 days. So I was a little bit worn out and then had to get a cortisone shot and possibly an MRI, which I live in an MRI tube. I think they're one of the coolest things in the world. I probably had over 30 MRIs. And I was hoping to be done with the rest of my life with MRIs, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
Damn. I was going to say, haven't they named a wing after you down there in Atlanta somewhere?
They should. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like them. I've only had one bad instance in an MRI. As you know, it's very tight in there, and I had to yell to get me out because I had such a bad pain from being in this position. But other than that, yeah, roll me in there, take some more video or whatever you got to do, and see what happens.
Yeah,
Dude, I will not. I will not make fun of you on that one, Smoltz. I just actually had shoulder surgery 3 months ago by Dr. Kremchek from the Reds, and but I got my MRI. I was getting my MRI out in Colorado, and dude, for the first time in my life, I got claustrophobia, man. And same thing, I was like, "Get me out! Get me out!" I started freaking out, man. It never happened before.
I've never been in one of those, but I did. Oof. Go ahead, John.
Go ahead, Smoltz.
What I was going to tell you is I normally go to sleep, which is not really well planned either, because if you twitch or move, you got to redo that section. And this one particular time, I woke up and just panicked, first time ever. And I was counting, I was doing everything you have to do, and then finally I just pushed the button and said, my back is absolutely killing me. So all good.
Yeah.
All right, good to know. Yeah, I haven't had one of those. I did have a head cast once done on me where they put everything and they put the straws in your nose so you can breathe. And they told me, and that my cousin and his partner bet, they have a special effects company, they bet if I would do it or not. And I made it through because the day before Joe Pesci had been there to get a head cast for Goodfellas, and he freaked out and just took it and did this and threw it off and said, "I'm not doing this." And he walked out. He just walked out, and they're like, okay. So they had to get a guy like his height and that kind of had his features and to do the head cast, because really all your senses are covered up for like a minute. Like there's a dark minute, they call it, or something. And it's freaky out. And I actually made it through. So they after they got the head cast off me, he handed my cousin $50. He's like, "Holy crap, I can't believe Frank made it." Because I'm very jittery, and I did make it though.
But Smoltz, what Frank's not telling you is Joe Pesci had to do that for a film role. Frank was doing that for him and his girlfriend for fun at home.
Well, we don't want to, there was a full body cast. That is true. We don't want to talk about that, but you can look online. So John, baseball season's about to start. Spring training, always spring. Hope springs eternal. I am a big Pirates fan. I know, obviously, you follow the Braves and you follow all the teams, and I follow all of Denny's. We had the Yankees, Denny, right, and Garrett Cole. So I wanted to ask about Garrett Cole and how afraid you are of what's going on with Garrett Cole.
Well, I've been, since 10 years ago, I've been talking about pitching injuries, and no one seems to pay attention. No one seems to care in the industry. I think they're starting to pay attention now. I think they're trying to figure out doctors. They're not listening to doctors. We are the smartest, most technically advanced industry in sports, and yet we cannot understand why we're having so many injuries in the pitching. It's pretty simple to me. I've been saying it all along, but they don't really care because there's enough arms to fill the gaps until these guys are ready. And those arms aren't ready to fill the gaps potentially from a major league pitching wise, but they can throw 98. So they use them for 40 innings till they're ready. I'm concerned only because Garrett Cole has been prototypically clean for most of his career. He's a stud. The Yankees need him really badly. You just hope it's not in a direction where it causes any further time off than what they've got set up for him already.
Yeah.
Hey, John, just out of curiosity, when you say that, I know I've heard you talk about it, but for the listeners out there and stuff, when you say, what you feel like the problem has been, what do you feel like one of the number one issues is with the injuries with pitchers and stuff? Lack of long toss, lack of innings?
No, we're max effort, everything. Power spin, power changeup, power fastball. There's no relief for the arm at any point during the year. We're spinning it at an all-time rate, not to take into effect that the stuff they were using to increase spin rate, which hopefully is out of the game, but max velocity just can't sustain it. And they're going to say that it's a byproduct of youth baseball, and there's some validity there, but we could do a better job at managing youth baseball so that these trends don't keep happening. When 33% of your staffs have Tommy John surgery and are headed for their second one, that's not a product you want long term. And I just care too much about players and their ability to play long time. And it's not the players' fault. They're chasing the reward system that's given them. And the reward system is if you can throw it 98 and you can spin it off the planet, then we got you, we want you, and do it as much as you can till you can't.
Wow.
And Smoltz, haven't you also gone around and given talks to some of these high school programs and stuff because of the fact that an alarming number of young pitchers are getting the Tommy John surgery as well?
Well, I spent a good portion of my Hall of Fame speech on it. That's how passionate I am. But people aren't listening because the business of baseball out there is too big, and the guys that are running these industries are guaranteeing these parents scholarships to college and draft pick money and all those, So they're out there peddling this kind of nonsense that it doesn't have a long-term benefit. But if in the short term the money is this great and it gets them a head start, so be it. But Denny, we got to play a long time. Our reward system was we were paid to play. We weren't necessarily paid based on a performance. Has a long way to go with it. But if you made 36 starts, you were going to get paid. Now, if you make 16 starts and you're dominant, you're going to get paid. So I get it. The players are really chasing what the ownership and so-called management want to have their players do.
Yeah. Ryan has a question, please.
Yeah,
go ahead, Ryan.
John, first, thank you for being on the show. Their MLB is experimenting with a bunch of different rule changes. We've got the obstruction of the base coming in this year. But what is your opinion as a former pitcher of this automated balls and strike system? They've experimented with it in the minors, and they've done it in spring training a little bit. What do you think of it?
Well, I'm not a fan of it permanently because if you think hitting is hard now, it'll be impossible with the pitch strike zone. Because here's the deal. With the velocity and spin rate that I already talked about at the highest level, if you touch the top of the strike zone with your fastball and you break a breaking ball off the top of that zone, the hitting is going to be impossible because it's going to denote a strike. What I would be in favor of is a challenge system, and I don't know how many they use in the minor leagues, but if there's an at-bat that changes the inning or changes the at-bat, you'd have to trust your players that they would be not totally selfish, but for the benefit of the team, challenge, because they already know if it was a strike or ball, and it was done very quickly. But if they ever go to an automated strike zone, I promise you, as a former pitcher, I would have loved it. It would have given me so much advantage to be able to throw at the top of the zone and throw in the corners and just touch that strike zone to be called a strike. And then if you're spinning the baseball like these guys are doing, I just don't see that as a permanent fix. I know players may want their at-bats to not be ended on a bad call, and I get that, and that's why you could have a challenge system. But remember, when the replay system came into play, it was for the obvious. It was to correct the obvious mistakes. Now replay's getting 1/8 of an inch off the bag in time that just cannot be fair for an umpire to get it right. So we've morphed into technology being so great that it's actually kind of gone the wrong direction when we talk about how it was intended to be used. And I think the same thing would be said for with the strike zone if they go to it permanently.
Yeah. And Denny, what do you think about it too? Are you for it or against it?
Smoltz, you couldn't have said it best, Frank, because, you think about like a Greg Maddux, like Smoltz would test you. I was even going to say Smoltz slider, if he was able to start it this far off the outside corner to a lefty, let's say, and then he comes back and it catches that outside corner. Smoltz's slider was devastating enough in its own right, but let alone if he was getting that call. And then now imagine a Greg Maddux type pitcher that could control the movement. And he already had that pitch where he would start it off the inside plate to a lefty, or off the outside corner to a righty, and it would break back and hit that corner. But now if it's just nipping that corner and he's getting that call, these guys like Smoltz was saying, these guys that have a 12-6 curveball that can start it this much over at the top of the strike zone, but by the time it comes in, it clips that imaginary beam at the top of the zone. When anywhere else it's not going to be a strike, but he would get that call with that automated zone. It would just be like the hardest thing in sports to do is to hit a round ball with a round bat. So now imagine throwing that into the equation.
Now, speaking of hitting a round ball with a round bat, I read these to Denny when he was on the show the day we were going to have you on, and look at him smiling already. So I looked up on StatHead to see the stats of you guys facing each other as pitcher and batter. So Denny hitting versus John Smoltz. Do you remember, Denny, what you did off of John when you were in the box?
I think you said it was like 1 for 7.
1 for 7 with 2 Ks, but an average of 143. So there you go. You got to hit. You got to have the smoke. Good. And John, do you know what you were against Denny? And this is what made him happy. So he wanted me to point this out again, I'm sure.
I don't think I got a hit off of Denny Neagle if my memory serves me well.
8 plate appearances, 0 for 5 with 3 Ks, but 3 sacrifices. And you can see a picture here of the 4 of you guys. Look at that staff: Glavine, Smoltz, Neagle, and Maddux. Denny, what's your fondest memory of those days like that when it was the 4 of you?
Well, first of all, I'm just, so glad those guys finally started listening to me and my advice when I came over there, and ended up having Hall of Fame career. No, dude. Hey, man, Frank, I know I told you this, and I've said it to anybody that ever asked me that question. What was it like pitching the rotation with those guys? It must have been nerve wracking. It must have been a lot of pressure. And I'm like, my answer to that always was nobody's going to put as much pressure on myself as I did to myself. So I always felt like it was the best thing ever happened in my career. It was a blessing in disguise. First of all, to be able to have the best seat in the house to watch 3 future Hall of Famers go at it night in and night out. But the one thing I always said, Frank, and I think I might have said this one on the show before, but I always liken it to running in a 100-yard dash. If you run in a 100-yard dash, let's say with people that you can beat, you've always beaten them. Yeah, you're probably going to win that race again, but you're probably not going to run your best times. But if you're running that 100-yard dash against guys that are just as fast, if not faster than you, you might not win that race, but you're probably going to keep posting your best times ever. And that's what I felt like pitching rotation with these guys. Watching Smoltz go out there and strike out 14 in 8 innings. Tommy Glavine getting 14 ground ball outs. Greg Maddux throwing a 79-pitch complete game. By the time it was my turn, I'm like, well, crap, I don't want to be the low man on the totem pole. So they elevated my game to another level, and we just fed off each other. And, Smoltz will attest to it too, Frank. I mean, Smoltz was great at not only on the golf course, but, we would have battles. It'd be like me and Smoltz against Maddux and Glavine over the course of a year for who could get the most base hits, who can lay down the most sacrifice bunts, hitting-wise and stuff. There was always some sort of friendly competition we had going on amongst ourselves. Unfortunately, I had to break out a second mortgage sometimes throwing Smoltz on the golf course.
John, and this is a stat that I found interesting. You're the only pitcher in postseason history with more than one stolen base. Were you aware of that? You have 3.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I could fly early in my career. That's why I've got 2. That's why I've got 2 artificial hips now. I ran myself right into the ground. No, I was, believe it or not, I was the official pinch runner when I got called up. Don't ask me why, but Russ Nixon, our manager at the time, says, you're going to be my guy, so have your cleats on by the 5th inning every game. And it really was exciting in the beginning, and then it was a burden at the end of the day. It's like when you're a starter and you're kicking back, you're enjoying life. You got your turf shoes on. You got no worries. Well, I had stress every single game by the 5th inning. And one particular game in San Diego, it wasn't the 5th, I don't believe, but our catcher was on first base, and I'm eating milk duds, and I got my turf shoes on, and Russ Nixon goes, you're pinch hitting or you're pinch running for Jody Davis. And I knew I was done, right? I am panicking. I can't find my helmet. I got milk duds now in my back pocket. After about 2 minutes, and the umpires are going crazy. I can't find my helmet. Jody had my helmet. So I put on a helmet. We cross paths. Jody goes, here's your helmet. He tosses it to me. I put the helmet on. Benito Santiago is the catcher who had a gun. I got a 3-foot lead. The next batter bunts. I get thrown out at second. I slide on my milk duds, which ruined the milk duds in the back of my pocket. I get into the dugout. Russ Nixon looks at my feet and says, what did I tell you about having spikes on? And I mean to tell you, it ruined every second of a beautiful day I was having with some milk duds. And I ended up going out on the game. So
we got to get you a milk duds commercial. Oh my God. There we go. He's like,
I could just hear one of your teammates too, or one of the announcers going, boy, Smoltz got so excited he crapped himself out the field.
It's just milk duds. It's just milk duds. And I know your time is valuable. Just a few more things, if you don't mind. Looking forward to the season. Look, I'm a Pirates fan, as Denny knows. That's where he met his rookie year, so I'm hoping the Pirates can put it together. They got a lot of young arms. O'Neal Cruz is healthy. Who are you looking at? Is there a couple players you're looking at to have big years, or what team? I know your Braves, obviously, are going to be one of the favorites, and the Dodgers, but players or teams that you're looking at?
Well, I think the Central's kind of wide open, and that does leave Pittsburgh in a nice spot. If they can sustain their young players and just find some momentum moving forward, they got to stop getting rid of these players. They got to figure out a way, once they draft them, to develop them. And I think they're closer than ever with some star powers. I mean, their shortstop's fantastic. Yeah. So they have an exciting team, I think, this year that can compete. And who knows, they might even add some players. So the Central's wide open. You already named the 2 best teams, in the National League, with Philadelphia right there. But I'll tell you what, there's another small market team that has been dormant for a long time that showed the last 2 years they're for real, and that's the Baltimore Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, they got a chance to win the division and go to the World Series. Again, everybody has to face the same problem, and that's health. Health in their rotation. They added Corbin Burns. They are legit. They remind me of the 91 Braves when we started our run. No one thought we'd go 2-3 years in a row, yet alone 14. So who knows for Baltimore? I think the most complete team in the American League is the Houston Astros. And they've got a great chance, as always. They've won. Well, I think they've gone to 5 straight divisional or pennants. So I think the big thing, championships. Yeah. So the biggest thing for me is the top heavy teams are legit. But you're going to have the Cincinnatis, the Pittsburghs, they're on the come and making life miserable for teams like St. Louis and the Cubs. So I just think the Central is going to be a better division this year than people think. And you're going to get a surprise out of the Central for sure, in my opinion. And everybody else kind of falls in line.
I love it.
Frank, I got a question too. Smoltz, speaking of his Pirates and stuff and one of my old teams, have you had a chance yet to see that Paul Skeens throw?
I have. And again, the same narrative for me is I love to watch these young players develop, but 101 and 102 miles an hour makes me nervous. And I know he's a big frame, and I know he goes downhill really well. And, no one's immune from the injury bug, but I just wish if you had 100, 101, you kept it in your pocket when you needed it and you could cruise at 97, 98. But we're not teaching them to do that anymore. We're teaching them to just, again, give me that 78 to 90 pitches, everything you got, and I'll get somebody else in to do the rest for you. And I just wish we had better opportunity to develop pitching and not so much throwing. We're the best in all of sports at developing throwing and max velocity. I mean, there's no denying that. But remember, 10 years ago, when analytics was introduced into this game, they started their slogan with "This will be a better opportunity for success for players and keep them healthier." Well, that has not worked, and it hasn't worked for a long time. So when I see a youngster like this, I drool to see his kind of stuff. But I also know they're going to rush him into the big leagues to max effort everything, and he won't have the capacity or they won't give him the opportunity to get in and out of trouble and learn like we did. Yeah. And I know it's 2,000 years ago and 2 generations ago, but pitching is still pitching. If you can throw a ball where you want to, you're going to get guys out. If you can throw it as hard as you want and you can get in a big box, you're going to give up homers, walks, and you're going to get your strikeouts. And we're kind of obsessed with those 3 categories right now. Thank God for the rule changes that allowed the game to move again and flourish, because it was headed down the wrong trail of 4-hour games. And I'm excited to watch young players be able to play in an action sport now instead of a non-action sport that was happening a couple years ago.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. And are you at the Greenbrier in West Virginia? Is that where you are?
Yes, very, very good call. We have a place at the Greenbrier, and we came up here with our new puppy.
Oh, what kind of dog do you have? We got to talk about the dog then real quick.
We have we're I'm going to be 57 years old. I didn't think we'd go the puppy route. We had 6 dogs. We've rescued boxers. Nice. We've got this unbelievable boxer puppy now that we picked up in North Carolina. And we are treating it like a newborn, as you should. And he is going everywhere we go. So we went to the Greenbrier here for the last 5 days to kind of veg out, my wife and I. And you know what? He's even coming to the golf tournament. Hopefully he'll watch me win in Dallas here in a couple of weeks.
And the Greenbrier is the hotel, or whatever you want to call it, the resort that has the missile site, like the Cold War bunker underneath it, right? Yeah, I saw this documentary. It's wild. Yeah, like no one knew about it for a long time. But there's weapons. There's everything. There are food rations. It was where they were going to have the government run in case of a situation that, thank God, we didn't need.
That's exactly right.
That's a good down way to end it.
4 great golf courses is why I love it as well.
Hey, and I'll brag about Smoltz too, Frank, because even though he was kind of had a joking story about him pinch running and stuff, Smoltz is one of the best athletes that as far as overall athletes that I've ever played with too, because not only was he a Hall of Fame pitcher, but he could swing the bat, like you said, he could run the bases. probably the best baseball player to play golf. You know, he's almost made it on the senior tour a couple times now and stuff, whatever, you know. So he would definitely take your money on there. And he was a heck of a basketball player too.
Jeez. And go ahead real quick, Ryan.
Yeah. So sticking with the golf, John, if you grew up in today's generation, would you still choose baseball, or would you try and pursue golf and get a live contract, or would you still stick with baseball?
It's a great question because I never played golf growing up till I was 21. So it definitely would have got in the way of my addiction of playing golf because I can't get enough of it. Baseball, you can only play for so much and throw so much. Golf, you could play every day. So that would be a tough decision. I think I made the right decision, but to play golf as an individual sport and know that you don't have anybody to rely on, it's pretty incredibly humbling and very difficult to master.
Wow. Excellent question,
Frank,
right?
that shows you what a great athlete is. I didn't even realize that, Smoltz. You didn't start playing to 21.
Yeah.
And then he becomes a scratch golfer, damn near making it on the senior tour.
Yeah, that makes us all feel great about it, doesn't it? It's like, oh, he picked it up at 21. I was like, I'll give this a try. The hardest sport in the world. Mr. Smoltz, thank you so much for being on the show. Oh, there's the bobblehead that Denny wanted to show. There's the one with the stash. You like that stash? It's Spencer Strider and John Smoltz.
Yeah. But you can tell Striders, but what is that on your lip there, Smoltzy?
Nah, that's fuzz, man. I had that fuzz for a long time. It was listen, just because it's blonde doesn't mean it's not there.
I love it. Well, listen, Denny, thank you for setting this up and joining us. This was our first ever dual video call. Outstanding. John, we can't thank you enough for your time. We know it's valuable, and you got a puppy to get back to. So good luck out on the links and safe travels, and Major League Baseball season. Can't wait for it. Denny, is there anything you want to plug?
No, I got nothing.
Got nothing. He's got nothing going on. Just wait until he comes out to the South Point again. Anyway, thank you, gentlemen, for both being on the show. Really appreciate it, John. This was a big thrill for all of us. Thank you. John Smoltz, Denny Neagle. Thanks, guys. We'll be right back. We'll take a 2-minute break.
Go Tar Heels.
Yeah, we'll take a 2-minute break. Go Tar Heels. Shut up, Ryan. All right, we'll be right back.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rock and dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
That was unbelievable. My special thanks again to Denny Neagle for getting John. That's the second Hall of Fame pitcher he's brought on the show. He had us Tom Glavine. We had John Smoltz. Maybe now we get local boy Greg Maddux at some point. But you know who else is a local boy now? Jeff Parles. Jeff Parles is here. You're kind of a local guy now.
I guess.
How long have you been here?
Jeff.
I mean, he's the local of all.
He's the born and raised, yeah.
I mean, McCormick, Sean, Jerry, and Ann's been here for a long while, too.
How long have you been here, Ann?
5 years.
Stand by.
All right. I've 30 years.
30 years.
I've lived here longer than any other place.
30 years he's been. And speaking of someone who's been here a long time, also, Mr. Vinny Magliulo is here. Vinny, how long have you been in Vegas?
Yeah, Vinny.
Let's see, 46 years.
46. He's got I took the over, so there you go.
There you go.
You know me.
Another over cash is for Frank.
Another over.
What a shocker.
What a shocker.
What a shocker.
So we're just going to, we'll get into some tournament action. What's going on here? Marquette is actually taking the lead now.
Yep.
I have Clemson, so I like that. And UConn. Oh, UConn up over Stetson.
Wait a second. You should only bet on the ACC teams.
Yeah, really.
It's the only
right?
thing you've won the last few days.
Yeah, I won NC State last night.
Yeah.
This is true. And by the way,
Wow.
Vinny, when I say the word Stetson, what slogan comes into your head right away?
Hat.
Yeah, Stetson hat or Stetson fits. Wasn't that the cologne in the 70s? It was like a cowboy.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I was a big cologne wearer back in the 70s when I was a kid.
Listen, I mean, think about what you just said.
Yeah.
You're asking a guy from Brooklyn who's been a bookmaker in
That's
Vegas
true.
for 46 years about a cowboy cologne.
You're right.
I'm just, I mean,
He
I
knows his
remember.
audience,
I do
Vinny.
remember Brute.
Brute by Fabergé.
Was probably what's Ann laughing at? back
she,
there?
she remembers Brute too.
Okay.
That was our Brute by Fabergé.
That's
that was
right.
the commercial.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, the action's been amazing. I'm just going to say it again. You got to come down to South Point, go upstairs. I don't know, 2,500, 3,000 people, cheap prices, contests, giveaways. What a blast we had last night up there.
And you were going around filming and taking videos, and I got to tell you, great job.
And also, Ryan took some videos that I wasn't aware that he was taking of me.
Well,
so.
yeah. Did you break the news to him? Did you see? Did you see them?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I saw the one of
opened
me
show with his
dancing.
yeah.
That was
Just as you have to expect every mic to be hot, you got to assume the camera's always rolling.
This is true,
There you
especially when you're, the host of Punchlines here.
Exactly.
People follow me
Exactly.
around. Jeff, the host of Sports by the Book. Jeff, how are you doing so far in the tournament? How are you doing up there?
He's at the
yesterday was rough.
bottom of
Today's
our
been
pool.
better. Today's been better.
Today's been better? Okay, good.
You know what? Swapping. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. I need some grapes, Vinny. Alex and I were sweating out the first half under in San Diego State and UAB.
Okay.
Where we were way, way, way behind.
Okay.
Somehow get to the last possession of the half, needing to avoid a 2-point basket.
Right.
And they called the foul that
Yes.
there was absolutely no contact on the layup. Guy just missed the layup short. Luckily for us, the guy goes 1 for 2. We win by the hook. So that was good. We're trying to usher Western Kentucky home here, but
No.
it's been a pretty.
No, everyone's not. Ryan has Marquette.
Oh no, not all. They don't have to win. They just have to cover.
Yeah, well, I'm good with
No,
them
they have
covering.
to win. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Listen to the.
So,
Yeah, they
Vinny,
gotta win.
this is my first. This is my first tournament here at the South. Look at this is busier than the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go. It really seems
It's
like.
honestly, it's 4 Super Bowls, right?
Yeah.
4 days of Super Bowl. I mean, when you think about it, and we know that the Super Bowl is the single most wagered event, right? This
Okay.
year, about a little over 185 million statewide. This is 2.5 to 3 times that over
Really?
the course of the tournament. Now, forget it's 2.5 weeks and
Yeah.
everything, but these first 4 days are the bulk of it.
Yeah.
And as you can see, Frank, going around, and Jeff, Jeff's been here for a couple of these now. But what you're seeing now in the book is really it's actually the photo of what is going on throughout the property. You mentioned there's 3,000 people upstairs in the event center. And then wherever you go, we've got the Grandview Lounge. I mean, any lounge, showroom, everything is focused on the tournament. And betting stations and kiosks all over, too.
So convenient upstairs. And by the way, if you want to go to the buffet, now's the time to go.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's the
Yeah.
shortest line I've ever
Yeah.
seen at the buffet.
Yeah.
Yesterday's guest, J-Dab. I walked him over there and I go, are they open? I wasn't even sure,
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, come on up. So it's a good time to go to the buffet. Otherwise, you're going to wait.
Yeah.
But they get you in quick there. It's unbelievable.
The buffet manager wants TVs in there for next year's tournament. I wonder why.
Oh, wow. Yeah, right? That was great.
Honestly, they should have them.
They
in there
should.
already, right?
Will there ever be another Greg Maddox? All right, we got to that late. Sorry, Mike O'Day. My buddy just got to that. Probably not.
Yeah.
Greg Maddox is on. By the way, you want to hear some of those stories Denny tells about Greg Maddox? This is a weird guy. He's a weird guy.
Isn't it pretty much? Yeah, I know we don't want to
Yeah, we
talk
don't
about
talk-
baseball
yeah,
for
no.
more than we already
Well, no.
have, but isn't it basically will there be a blank starting pitcher like blank
Yeah.
from any way in the past? The answer is no.
Yeah.
At this point,
Yeah.
it just is.
Yeah. Vinny, so what are you looking at today? Is there some action on one team more than others? We got a lot of great games coming up today.
Well, the The dog got there with Northwestern, and there was a pretty it was mostly Florida Atlantic action in that game. So obviously Northwestern prevails in overtime. Marquette, more money on Marquette. That closed about a point higher at 15.
Okay.
So a little bit more money on Marquette there. Baylor got there. They were supported.
Yeah.
This New Mexico game kind of went back and forth, actually. So we opened at 3. It was down to 2, and then it kind of went back and forth with Clemson there. So not a huge move there. Actually, UAB, more money on UAB. We closed this one 2 points lower than the opener.
Oh, wow. And this is a 5-12
matchup,
matchup, right?
Close 6, San Diego State. Yeah. So, folks enjoy, the dogs, particularly a lot of dogs in the first couple of days of the tournament, Frank. And then, I don't have to tell you anything more about the first to 15, which is
it's the best. I was 0 for 2 on those yesterday, I think, but it's the funnest route. I mean, the whole room is. I mean,
it's a great word, Frank.
Yeah, it's a good route, right? It is. It's just. Hey, do it. Let's do it. Take the underdog. Hope they get to 15 first, and I will do it again today. I'm not sure who. Maybe your Grambling team against Purdue. Now, do you think Grambling will honestly win or no?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
But you want them to win.
I would like them to win. Benny, I just wanted to know: was Oakland a big liability for the book yesterday?
Not terribly. I think when you look at the first to 15. Oakland was a liability, and we were talking about it this morning on Sports by the Book. You know what? I think if anybody that bet Oakland yesterday was betting against Kentucky as much as anything and taking the points, right? So, but on the money line, some people had it, and that cost us a little bit, but. It wasn't something that was an avalanche.
By the way, I thought Oakland until today was up in the Northern California. I didn't realize it's in Michigan.
No, it's in Michigan.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to the special on Sunday.
I did. I did watch. I did.
He was studying.
I haven't commented. I commented in the live comments during that show. I missed that part. But my favorite player right now is this Golke kid or whatever who had 10 of 20 on 3-pointers that were all off balance, coming off screens. He had the game of his life.
And Jeff had a great stat. Jeff, what during the course of the year?
I don't remember what it was.
I know what
exactly,
it was,
but it was he has taken only 7 shots that have not been 3-pointers.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Better than 95% of his field goal attempts this year.
And Ryan brought up only 3 dribbles on those
355 shots.
Okay.
347 of them.
Okay, so eight of them. Okay, there you go.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I knew there was a 7 involved somewhere, right?
I mean, so there was more money on Kentucky. It did close a point higher on the point spread, believe it or not. But then, anytime there's a little dog like that, it's like the first to 15 too. They sprinkle in a little underdog money if they're going to take the points. So maybe if you're betting, 220, you might bet. 20 or 50 on the money line, especially in the first few games.
Marquette's up to 13 now.
And what's the spread in that game?
That closed 15.
Yeah.
So
okay, they need to
that's
be
actually important for early numbers. So early numbers are ahead at the moment, actually, Frank.
Now, we're going to have the Final Four here, and is it 2028 in Las Vegas? Is it 20?
Sounds right.
I think that's about right. Yeah. And again, we're in the rotation not only for the Super Bowl. Once you're in the rotation for the Super Bowl, Frank, you're in the rotation for the Final Four because Final Fours are now played in football stadiums. Yeah. So it's great that we had the Super Bowl. We'll get it again, and I'm sure I think 28 is the.
I think that sounds about right. Yeah.
I think because 2028 doesn't have a Super Bowl home yet. I think it would be amazing to have the Final Four and the Super Bowl.
They're not going to double it up.
Absolutely amazing.
And while the Oakland A's are now playing in Vegas,
that's the year. I think that's the year they're supposed to start.
The Las Vegas A's.
The Las Vegas A's. I apologize, Ryan.
You're stuck on the Oakland.
The glimmer. I know. I'm stuck on Oakland today. Any sexy picks today? Grand Canyon, St. Mary's. That's a game that everyone has taken either one of those teams pretty far. It seems, in their brackets, right? What's that?
Grambling.
Very good, Ryan.
What'd you say?
He said Grambling.
Yeah.
Grambling.
Oh, Grambling. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Longwood, Houston. Jeff, any long shots here that you're looking at?
What else is later tonight? What's the other?
Vermont is playing.
James Madison's the one. That's the one if we're looking underdogs that I like. I know the market's gone against me with that. But I do not like Vermont.
Okay.
I think that's just a dreadful matchup for them drawing Duke. Now, first to 15 is a totally different bet. Maybe you can take a small piece of that, but full game wise, I think that's just a horrible matchup. for the Catamounts, who are no stranger to the NCAA tournament, pretty much there every single year out of the America East.
Yeah.
When you're looking also to change of favorites here in the Colorado-Florida game, no real surprise. I think with Florida's center being out, and it's not from a scoring perspective. It's like a rebounding. They're one of the better rebounding teams in the country, the Gators. Their big man went out in the SEC tournament very early in their last game. So that game is now got Colorado as a favorite. We opened a game pick, went to Florida early as a favorite, and now Colorado is the favorite.
And just to close with this, what is your day like during these games? Where you're just bouncing around
all over. And you know what? Everybody's having fun from on the other side of the camp, but we have fun doing it too.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't be doing this for over 45 years, Chris, Jimmy, and I, if we didn't enjoy it. It's great to see. I'll tell you, one of the best things is seeing the same groups. Every year. There's groups of people that literally, we've got a group of guys from North Carolina in the front row. They get here at 6 o'clock. They've been coming here for about 5 years. Jeez. They get here at 6 o'clock in the morning in the book. They want it. They don't, they'd rather be in the book. Some people, they like the event center, but they like the book. They get here at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they're here until the games end at night. There's 4 guys. They lock up those 4 chairs right there. They bet. They bet everything, 1st to 15. They bet the games. They bet totals. They bet halves and first halves. So you see similar groups. And the other part is, again, you talk about how long we've been doing this. Now some of these folks that have been here for so long, for decades, they're bringing their kids, their sons, and their daughters that are now old enough to be in the casino. So it's a lot of fun for us.
And go ahead, Jeff. Did you say something?
No. I was just reacting to this mad scramble at the bucket because right now the closest game is San Diego State is clinging to a 3-point lead on UAB. UAB just had 3 cracks at it, but I think the refs bailed them out on a foul and a rebound.
I know we were talking about this. San Diego State was in the final last year, and I said, how many players did they return? And Ryan, off the top of his head, 9. 9 players. They're not getting any love. I mean, but.
They at least for me now, assuming they survive here, which is no gimme, assuming Auburn handles their business tonight, I think that's a death matchup for San Diego State. Just the wrong type of team, athletic, big, good 3-point shooting team. Horrible matchup for San Diego State in around a 32. Vinny's been all over Auburn all year.
Yeah, I think Auburn. I think that they're the kind of team that. It depends on their guards, right? And I think that's going to be the key for them. But I've had them pretty highly rated for most of the season, and I think to Jeff's point, it should be an interesting matchup. But again, I mean, it's a 1-point lead for San Diego State. They've got to get there, right? This possession is going to be the key.
Did you help out on making these lines?
I just looked at Chris. Chris did it, and he, I gave him an opinion. But those are Chrissy's. And if you want to know if any prices have changed, no.
No. All right. Well, there's other things to worry about.
There's a couple other. But people have bet this.
I have
they
the list
love
here.
it.
I have
not
the list
just
here.
you participants.
I told these guys that Alex has $120 wager on her and has $5. And whose 5 is that? It's her $5.
That a girl, Ann.
Drew Dog 65, Jeff 25, Matt 150, Ryan 60, Sean 25, Frank Nicotero $220.
Vinny,
you have the actual amount of
do you
money.
have a favorite group out of that?
I'm sorry.
Do you have a favorite group out of that?
Out of this,
congratulations for having.
I love you all.
Zero.
It's like you're asking me, like Dad, which one of us do you love the most? I love you all.
That was very good.
Okay.
That's that was the great bookmaker.
That is it is very pragmatic. Listen, we can't thank you guys enough. I can't thank Denny Neagle for getting John Smoltz in here. Baseball season's happening. But we're going to get our focus back to the tournament. Games are coming down to the wire. What is it, 20 seconds left, San Diego State. I'm sure you're watching this.
Yeah, Linda Borg just fouled. UAB's best player just fouled out with 20 seconds left.
Listen, we appreciate you guys watching and sharing the show. You guys have made it what it is. Thank you, live comments. It was a little tricky today to get to everything with Smoltz and Nagel on there. But we'll be back Monday when Duquesne will be in the Sweet 16. Maybe?
Probably not.
But anyway, it's been a good ride.
Well, we'll be back.
We will be back. And on Monday, Butch Bradley is coming back. Comedian Butch Bradley, who just won an award as the best comic in Las Vegas. And he just rang, what is that, the tornadoes?
Siren.
Siren at the Knights game. Mm-hmm. They gave him a special jersey. He says he's got a great story about it. So Butch, who's one of our favorites, will be back on Monday. So will Alex White, myself, and Ryan. So everybody have a good weekend. Good luck with your brackets. Thank you for watching Punchlines Lines live in Nevada every show.